I want to ask about proper work-life balance because we're talking about taking 168 hours and trying to cram it into 40, or you're trying to take really trying to take like 5 jobs and cram it into 168 hours while also trying to sleep. So how can lawyers get to this point of having I know like proper work-life balance is not the term anymore. It's like a proper work balance. What are some of the first steps that they can take?
So there's two different ways to go about this. There's the fun way and there's the realistic way. So the fun way is you just sit down with I've got an Excel spreadsheet that does all the hours in a week, and you just like map out what an ideal week would look like. And this isn't necessarily like sitting on the beach in Bali. This is like legitimately to handle everything I need to do. What do I need? And so I tell lawyers like, look, if you're going to commit to 40 hours a week, give yourself a 20% buffer. So book 32 work hours. So like, what are the 32 1-hour blocks of work that I have to do every week, and put them on the calendar? And then, you want to sleep for 7 to 9 hours a day. Great. Your kid goes to school, put that on the calendar, put travel time on the calendar. You want to get home at 5. Great. Map off your calendar at 4:30 and like really see what you truly have time for. Because the thing is, like, we get the opportunity to speak to our local bar association in 8 weeks, and we look at our calendar and it's totally blank, and we say yes. But then 2 days before, we realize we didn't do the presentation, and we have a hearing that's set for the next day, and we have a client who's pissed off about this, and we have all these other things. So like, the more you can get those repetitive tasks on, better. The more realistic way to do this, though, is I call it a time audit. So you audit your time for 2 weeks, and then what did I do? How long did it take? Did it give me energy or suck my energy? And how easy is it for me to delegate? And then you're like, hey, I hate checking my email. That's a -5 energy, and I could delegate 80% of my emails pretty quickly. That's an 8. Great. Now you hire an assistant and you pawn off your email, and now you go from 8 hours, whatever, let's say 4 hours a day of email, to 30 minutes a day. And now you have 3.5 hours back. And so then, like, if you're working 80 hours and you want to work less, I tell you to wedge your time. So take half of that time and make sure that's committed to working out, watching Netflix, playing golf, whatever it is, and then put the other half back into work, and keep doing that wedge until you get to where you want to be. So it's really a question of like, how much control do you have over the ability to start with the ideal versus having to just work on what are the small things you can take off your plate now if you're already drowning in work.